to Mr. Haden's Ag Lessons. This is episode 16, Plant Processes, and welcome back to school. Welcome back, viewers. I know it's been a long time since I've seen you, roughly about 4 months, but it's not how you start, it's how you finish. So this is my most highly anticipated episode, but I'm glad to be able to be back in front of you. I definitely wish all the students and teachers an excellent start to the school year. I know things are much different this year. Who would have guessed we'd still be talking about COVID-19 in 2020, but I think those medical experts actually guessed that. So we'll try to focus on the things that we can do and not the things we can't do. And one of the things we can do is learn. So with that, I know you've been yearning for some ag learning. So with that, today we're going to talk about plant processes. We have fall coming up. A lot of the plants that you see in your day-to-day life, they might be changing color. And we're going to talk about why that is. So first off, when we're talking about the fall, we have cooler temperatures, shortening day length. The lack of light during the day causes those changes in plants. Also, those cooler temperatures. Many plants, especially annuals, are trying to focus on maximizing seed production. They sprouted in the spring. They only have one growing season, so their goal is to produce as many seeds as possible. After that, we go to our perennials, which is what a lot of you guys will notice that fall foliage coming on. We have our herbaceous perennials and our herbaceous or woody annuals as well, or woody perennials. Herbaceous perennials are things like the grass in your yard. So the below ground portion, the roots, it will go dormant in the fall and the winter, and then it will come back in the spring. The leaves of the grass, they will die and they will not come back next spring. But our woody perennials, those would be things like trees, shrubs, other things that have a woody stem. And what they're doing right now is they're letting those leaves fulfill their job of producing sugar for the plant. And I did forget to mention that my sump pump hasn't run for about 5 to 6 weeks now. We haven't had much rain here in Independence, so I'm going to try and sprinkle in the commercials at random. And our first sponsor today is Clorox. Okay, we don't even need commercials because all our products are sold out till 2021. And so when we think about those leaves, their job is to photosynthesize. And when they do that, they collect sunlight and turn that into sugar for the plant. And they mainly do that with chlorophyll, which gives the leaves its green color. But as that daylight starts to decrease, the plant slows those photosynthesis processes, and it actually has a layer of tissue at the base of the leaf that acts like a core, and it stops the flow of water. And when that happens, the glucose that remains in that plant, in that leaf, it starts to change color and break down over time. There's another plant material that's in those leaves that I have to make sure I pronounce correctly, anthothyosin. It breaks down in the soil. When the leaf falls on the ground, it breaks down. It results in the spring. It actually acts as a natural chemical, you could say, to inhibit other plants from germinating next spring. And when we're speaking of trees, you know that a tree would be great at online learning. All it really has to do is log in. And so I know a lot of you, when you see those leaves fall on the ground, you'll rake them up and you might think, well, leaves must be a good form of organic matter. And that's actually not true. Leaves are very thin. There's not a lot of organic material to them. An average adult oak tree might have up to 200,000 leaves that fall. So if it feels like you're raking a lot in the fall, that's one of the reasons there. And so the job of that leaf, as it turns colors, it'll eventually fall off. It is trying to get as much of the sugars back into the base of that plant, into the trunk of the plant. If you have a bulb plant that was growing all spring and summer, it's trying to capture all those sugars that'll help it and go down below in the root system to help it grow again in the spring. And so one of the other things with school coming up, I know that you might think, well, do trees ever get stumped? Well, they do, because they can't find the root of the problem sometimes. And like I said, the fall, a lot of you think about trees and different plants maturing. The main goal is those annual plants to produce those seeds. So when our corn and soybeans, when they're done growing, they got to dry down to a certain moisture, maybe 12 to 13%, or more potentially. And we'll harvest those, we'll store those throughout the year, and hopefully they'll feed the livestock we need to have the food that we eat. And our other sponsor today, the United States Postal Service. Use our services while you still can. Okay, and so I know this is a little bit of a shorter lesson. You'd think, Mr. Haden, you had all summer to get your lesson together. Well, this is what I got. So it's almost fall, y'all. So get ready for pumpkins. Your what's those pumpkin spice lattes. Make sure you enjoy the fall weather. I know it does feel warm this week, but have a great start to the school year, and we'll see you at next episode.